Hi everyone, my name is Liz and I want to welcome you to Painting with Liz today. We're going to do this sunset picture, and I've given everybody their paints and we've already prepped our canvas. You can use any kind of an oil or a white, like a liquid white, or there's an odorless lean. It's kind of like a terpenoid, or not a terpenoid, a liquid to wet your canvas. You just need something on there to get your paint to move. So we are going to go ahead and start with some color. We want to have different colors in our sunset. So this sunset was taken from a picture, and so it had very vibrant pinks and blues in it. So we're going to get some crimson. Now crimson is a really powerful color, and so you can make this as bright or as light as you want. This is about you liking your picture, not your picture looking like mine. So if there's something you don't like, then you just let me know and we'll get it changed, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and get just a little bit of paint. I'm going to start with just like 3 bristles going into that paint because this is so strong. And we put some white on the canvas today to start so that we could soften our color. And just that 3 bristles, see how much color is on there. So then I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to wipe my brush off. And I'm going to go back in and I'm going to work a little bit at a time and get some more color. If I keep blending, then it's going to turn pink. And it's going to fade away. So I'm just going to go across and soften it as I work. If you don't like pink, you don't have to have a lot of pink. If you love pink, you could fill the whole sky with pink. The way that these sunsets have been, we have had some gorgeous pink sunsets. So go ahead and start about halfway down, because when we put these distant trees in, we want to have sky color behind it. Don't go in just a straight line. We want to have some variance in there. So go ahead and start. Make sure that after you get a little color on it, you back away. When you're painting, it looks different when you back away than when you're working right up on it. And if you guys, while you're painting, when you get started, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to your neighbors so everybody knows who each other are. Yeah.
I'm G.
Or you continue to put color in there, let's use that.
Yeah, I'm going to continue putting some color on, and I keep looking back. I'm just staying with my crimson until I get my crimson the way I want, and then I'm going to start walking around and checking you guys.
I don't have any of that liquid white on my palette.
Okay, I'll bring you some, huh?
How do you get it lighter?
Just go softer and it'll blend with what you have.
On the white? Yeah.
And I want to have a darker spot right in here, just because that's how it was on the picture. But let's say I got a lot of dark right here. I can just keep blending that and see it gets lighter there. And I am going to put a little bit of this pink in my water. So I can also take and come down in here, and it's going to pick up some of that white down in here. So I could always take some of that back up in here too. Now some people like brush strokes, So if you like brush strokes, you can leave them. If you don't like them, you can just wipe your brush out and then go across real soft and you can get rid of them. This is just about you liking what you have and making it your own. Good. Yep. Okay. And then make sure that you back away from the picture because it looks different when you back away. So after you get some color on, make sure that you back away from it. Okay, so after we get that pink on, then we're going to go to the second color. The second color is phthalo blue, and phthalo blue is a light blue color. And it's a powerful color though, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get just a little bit of color on a couple of bristles, and I'm just going to kind of streak in a little at a time. And I want to be careful not to lose my pink. So when I pull into the pink, I'm going to kind of pull in and lift off. I'm going to pull in and lift off.
Which blue did you use?
I'm using the second color. And if I keep blending, I get a solid color blue. So if I want there to be light and dark shades, I'm just going to put it on until it's soft. And I've gotten rid of those brush strokes.
Do you clean the paint off your brush?
You can wipe your brush off. You can leave the pink on and get a purplish shade. The pink and purple make a lavender color, so you can do it either way. When you soften something, the less paint you have in your brush, the softer you're going to be able to get that stroke. Now when you're in your sky, you don't have to take your brush just straight across if you don't want to. You could go on an angle. Just depends upon what you want your sky to look like. When you're in the water, unless there's a reason for the water to fall, you want your water to go flat. So when you put this blue down in the water, you're going to want to take your brush straight across and go side to side. So when I start pulling this blue down here in my water, I'm going to pull my brush straight across. And again, I'm going to pull into the pink and lift off so I don't lose it all. I don't know where any land lives right now. I haven't decided yet how much land I want. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in all the water. I may decide I don't want any land. I don't know yet. So I'm going to complete each step as I go, and then I can make those decisions later. I may just want land on one side instead of both sides. It's really easy to lose your color though, your pink color. You just want to be careful not to keep blending your blue to a solid color. We are going to go back with some darker blue, but you do want to have some different shades of this blue as well. Those sunsets have all these different shades in there, and we want to make sure we get a bunch of different shades in there. So after you get some color, make sure you look away. You back up, look away, back up, look away. I have to remind myself of that all the time when I'm painting. Back up, look away. Okay, so see right here, see how it looks like it's dead stopped? So what I would do to break that up is just kind of pull your brush in a little bit uneven. See how it is here? That's really good, how it's all uneven.
That's what I like better.
Yeah, so, because this one just kind of looks like you stopped. So just kind of pull that in a little bit more uneven. Good job. Yeah, see the difference? Yeah. Yep, good. And if you're not sure, then you hold it away.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And then you know if you need to do something else to it or not.
Did you say we would go back and put the purple in there afterwards, or are we supposed to?
Yeah, no, we haven't got to the purple. But if you had a lot of pink on your brush and you didn't want to wipe it off and then you added blue, you're going to get a shade of purple because pink and blue make purple.
So this goes all the way down.
Yes. And then when you go into your pink, if you pull in this way, then you know you're not going to get a brush stroke. If you start here and come out, you're going to end up with a brush stroke here. So always pull from the outside in, and that way you won't get a brush stroke in the middle. Because if you should happen to have a lot of blue on your brush, you're going to end up with this really dark blue right here, and you're going to get a big dark blue brush stroke. Does that make sense? So always pull from the outside in. And then that too, you're not going to lose all of your pink in the center. Good job. Okay, you want me to hold it away?
Yeah. We need roller chairs.
I know.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
That would help. I don't have too much to do. I'll have to sit out somewhere.
No, you're going to have land down in here some.
What's the
So-
reason the blue out?
Or you could have taller land in here and short land down in here.
Trying to get someone that way.
We're going to, yeah, you can have as much purple, and we're going to actually go darker blue next. So, cool. Let me hold it away for you. Cool.
Am I getting enough color in it?
Let me hold it away for you.
Okay.
I love seeing all the different shades of color and yeah. Some people are very pastel, and some people like a lot of different darker shades and shapes, and that's what's great about painting is we get to put how we see nature, and everybody sees nature differently on canvas, so that's really cool. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit darker, and what we want is the edge of the canvas to actually be the darkest part of the canvas of the painting. When this is the darkest part, it helps to draw our eyes to the center of the picture. Just like when you walk outside, your eyes are naturally drawn to the horizon. And I don't know if you've ever done it, but look at the sky and look out, and it gets darker as you look out. That's part of the reason. It helps to draw your eyes naturally to that horizon. So we're going to take the third color, which is called Prussian blue. And it's a darker shade, so I'm going to get a little bit of that Prussian blue on my brush, and I'm going to start in the corner. And I'm going to add that Prussian blue. And again, it doesn't have to be a solid color. You can have darker and lighter. But it's also going to tell you the time of day. How late in the evening is it? Is it the beginning of the sunset? Is it towards the end of the sunset? So you're telling a story when you're painting, and you're telling the viewer about the time by how much color is in the picture, how dark it is. Again, if you keep blending that color to a solid color, if you keep blending, it will become a solid color. If you go over it just a little bit, you'll keep different shades of color. So I'm just going to blend it I like to blend away the brush strokes, but some people like brush strokes, so it's about what you like. You decide. And then I'm going to stop and look at it, see if I want some more different shades in there. How much color do I want? Again, when I go into the pink, I'm pulling from the outside in and lifting off so I don't lose that pink. I'm going to go ahead and add some of that darker blue into my water as well. But this time when I do it, I'm going to hold my brush to the narrow side so I can do a little at a time. If I use it the wide side, it's automatically going to give me a wide area. So I'm going to do little strokes so I can add some darker, just a little bit. I have a little bit more control. You're also telling how much movement is in the water. Is it a calm night? All I know is I want to be there. It looks very peaceful and calm. I love sunsets. So I do a little bit. If there's something you want to change, just do a little touch and then look away. Then do a little touch and then look away. And then that way you're not changing the things that you really love and wish that you wouldn't have changed. So you change a little bit, make one stroke, change it, then look away. Do another stroke, change it, and then look away. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I would go ahead and pull color all in here because we know we're going to put land, but we don't know where it lives yet. So you'll want to have color. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me hold it away.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay.
I can't see as far ahead as you do.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Like paint the sides of the canvas too.
You can. The only thing is because this is oil, it's going to stay wet. And so on your way home, you just want to be really careful because the sides in your car can get wet. What some people do is they'll take their palette home with them and then paint it when they get home. So that way it's there
Oh, okay.
instead of traveling
So
with
how
it
long does
wet.
it take it to dry?
It can take a couple weeks for it to dry. And the heat won't hurt it. The heat will actually help it to dry faster. Different colors actually take different amounts of time. Depending upon how much white you use, white tends to dry longer, takes longer to dry. So, and how thick, some people really make their paint real thick, so it just depends. Each person's takes longer to dry. When I first started, I would need everybody's paint palette for my canvas, and it would be really thick and really dark and bold in color, and my sister would have paint left over. Hers would be very light and pastel, and so mine would take maybe 6 weeks to dry, and hers would be dry in a day, you know. So everybody's varies, but usually a couple of weeks and it'll be dry. All right, so I'm going to go on to this purple color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a fan brush. And I'm going to do just small amounts. And it's the 5th color, and it's called Dioxide Purple. Now you can make purple. Purple is made with crimson and blue. And you could use crimson in either of the blues, and you would get a different shade of purple.
You just put it on the corner of your brush or the front, all the way across?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it on the corner of my brush. And so I'm gonna get some of that purple on there. And then I'm just gonna kind of think of like flatline clouds and just kind of rub some of that across in here. And I love purple, so I'm going to maybe have more purple than what you guys have. You can also mix purple with blue just because it will darken your color. If you want to darken a color, I've done that in portraits. I need it to darken a blue or a red, and so you can darken your color with that purple. So up here in the corner, I want to darken this sunset, so I can darken this color a little bit, and I'm going to do that with that purple. I'm going to add some of that crimson up in here and kind of darken that corner a little bit more. So you can add a little bit of purple if you want. Maybe you would rather have some red or some crimson dark clouds. That's all right. We all drop stuff. So you could have some crimson dark clouds. And they don't have to just be in a straight line. You know, you can kind of wiggle your brush. You can twirl it a little bit if you want to. And you don't want a pattern. So I kind of have a little pattern, don't I? They're kind of like in a straight line there. I don't allow patterns, because if you look in nature, there's no pattern. So I'm going to change this. Change that a little bit. Then I'm going to take that bigger brush. I'm going to wipe it off. And I'm just going to soften that. Now I'm not making these dark because it's not cloudy and rainy. It's just sunset. Sunset, we have all different shades of color. So I might go in with some crimson one in here. So whatever colors you want, whether it's purple, whether it's crimson, whether it's dark blue, maybe you want a darker blue one. I'm going to put a bunch in just to kind of show you the different colors. And then we'll do the white. They just kind of streak in there. And then when you soften them, it puts it into the canvas. They look like they're sitting on top of the canvas until you soften them.
Attention, Carrie, you're needed in the dining room. Carrie, you're needed, well, in the kitchen rather. Thanks.
Somewhere.
Well,
They need your help.
so I would do a couple, look away, see if you want more. Are they in a pattern? Are they all the same? Think about how they would look in nature so that your colors are, variants. There's not a, I'm this way, you can't touch me. Our skies are all friendly. They all kind of blend together. Our colors just intertwine on sunsets. If you've not painted, you're going to start looking at colors differently. We tend to look at sunsets and go, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Once you start painting, you're going to look at sunsets and go, oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I've never seen colors like that. Look at the shapes. How would you paint that color? You're going to look at it so differently because now you are looking at colors differently. You're looking at shapes differently. So once you start painting, and it's not about it being exact and perfect, it's about trying and putting it on canvas and just letting yourself experiment. And it's okay to mess up. When I first started, I had lots of paintings I didn't like, but it's about putting it on canvas and trying and being okay with not liking something and trying it again.
That's my biggest problem is patterns, and I don't know how to get it out. Once I've done it.
Just, okay, like here, and here, and here, yep. So then it's just about taking your brush and changing it. So now you
Change it
know.
without making a mess out of it. I tend to overwork it and make a mess.
So just go right on top of it.
Okay, with what?
Use a different color. Use a crimson or a blue. And we're going to go in it with white too. We're going to put some white clouds on it.
Well, I like blue more than I do.
Okay, so go with a little bit of blue, just a tiny bit, just to break it up. And then we're going to be
Alright.
using white.
How do I
Whatever shape, whatever, it's just about being free.
break it?
So just take a deep breath and just, oh my gosh, look at it. She's going, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, and then I'd wipe your brush out
Okay.
and you're not going to go straight across because then you're going to have another
So
pattern.
just do like this with it?
Yeah, just, nope, you're going to leave that one.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna shade it out or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your big brush and you're going to come back and soften it off. Yeah,
Alright, thank you.
yeah. And then you're going to come on it with white and that's going to change it. Good. Good, good, good. Awesome. All right. So now what you can do, especially if you get something too dark that you don't like, it's a good thing because now your white clouds are really going to stand out. Because if you have something that's a light spot, like if I were to put a white cloud right here, it's not going to show because white on white isn't going to show. So white on dark really stands out. So I'm going to wipe that fan brush off. I'm going to get some white on this brush. You could do little circles. I'm going to wipe it off because I'm going to pick up some color. I could do a straight line cloud. So it's about just setting some paint on. I'm not going to shade it and wiggle it in. Then once I get a little bit of paint on, I'm going to wipe this brush off, the big one, and just lightly go across it. Now I'm not blending it in because then it's going to go away. just softly go across it to set it on the canvas. So now it's a part of the canvas. Some people like it really thick, and so they'll make it like real textured, and they like it to stick out like that. I like to soften it more. I'm more about letting it be a part of the canvas, but not really thick on there. You do it how you like it. So you can try different ways until you find how you like it. I just kind of tap my brush, the corner. I put a bunch of paint on and then just kind of dab the canvas. I don't do too many at one time, maybe a couple touches, and then soften it. And then I'll touch a couple more spots. And then I'll soften it. And then I'll touch a couple more spots. And then soften it. And that way I'm not getting rid of things that I like. I'm not getting too many. And then I can decide, do I want some more darker colors in there? Do I have a pattern? Do I need some more other color? Well, maybe I want some more dark color in there. So I could go back up in here. Maybe I still don't have it as dark as I want. So then I can make some little changes. So see, you're not locked into anything. You can still change. I could pull in a little bit of dark in here if I want. Just kind of soften it. Maybe I want a little bit of white on that dark spot right there. So say you do a little change, then look at it until you get it the way you like it. And I think I'm okay with that. Now maybe a little white right there. Maybe a white one right there. All right, I think I'm okay with that. All right, let's see how you guys are doing. When I soften with the whole brush. So if I soften with the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
If you go little bit, then you're only getting a portion at once.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I like it.
I do too. I'm all about pink and purple in sunsets. I can't decide if I like pink and purple or orange and red better. I just love sunsets. I could just sit and look at them.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Doing great. Mm-hmm.
Just keep moving with this.
Okay, so what you're going to do is
Get 'em right stuff.
it's just real soft. Okay, what you're going to do is take the corner and then let that brush kind of twirl.
Yeah, I can feel like I could do paint on it.
And I'm really loading, like I really load
Okay, I
a
think
chunk.
That was the thing I was trying not to, I guess.
So, but if you hold that brush back on the end too,
Yeah, okay.
then that way the brush is more free to move. When you're holding it up here, you're drawing. It's a pencil, it can't move. When you're holding it back here, it's really loose and it can bounce.
Good tip.
Okay? Cool. Looks good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that look like a cloud?
Mm-hmm. Let me hold it away.
It's kind of a little
Mhm.
cloud.
Yep, like a
Where
little
else is
hazy
a good
cloud.
place to put a cloud?
I think right in here would be good. Mhm. Yeah, some clouds are hazy clouds, some clouds are big puffy white clouds, some are straight line clouds. Okay.
Noticeable.
Okay, so what I would do is just kind of wipe that brush out and then go back and get some white on here. And I really put quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to, especially if you want like a white one,
Uh-huh.
and you may have to wipe your brush out again because you have to load it to leave the paint. And then you're going to take this and wipe it out. And then just real soft.
Because it wouldn't stay.
Yeah, if you're going to leave paint, you have to have thick paint. Otherwise, it's going to pick up what's already on there. So, so you make sure that your brush is wiped out, a lot of paint, and then go over it just as soft as you can touch. And that way it'll just set it on the canvas and it won't lift off the paint that's on there. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of this lavender color to my water as well. So I'm just going to kind of streak in some dark blue, some lavender, because it's reflecting. And we're not doing exact mirror reflections, but it's kind of a mirror reflection of what we're doing. And so you can soften that with that big brush. Okay. So we're going to just kind of pull in a little bit of that sky color. So you have all the sky color down in your water. I'm going to soften it with that big brush. Again, you can have as much or as little color as you want. And because water is flat, unless there's a reason for it to fall, I'm going to keep my water flat. I'm pulling in to the center. If I have a lot of paint, should happen to have a lot of paint on this brush, and I start here and come out, I'm going to have this big mark here. And so I'm going to have to blend this away. That's why I always suggest that you pull from the outside in, because if you should happen to accidentally, not that I've ever done it, I can't tell you the number of times I've done it, have a lot of paint here and start here and pull out, you're going to have this great big gob of dark color, and you're going to end up losing that center color there. So always pull from the outside in. That will save you a lot of grief. You don't want to lose that middle color that you worked so hard to get and like and all that good stuff. So I try to help you guys learn from the things that I've done over the years and messed up on. And the tricks that I learned.
You don't need no land here, it's good.
Huh?
You don't need no land here, it looks like you're at the seaside.
Actually, mine, I have a problem. Do you see it? What'd I do? I didn't see it till I backed away.
Blending
What's
the
wrong
blue
with my
the-
picture?
Blending the blue with the pink in the water. Is that
Yeah, in my water. What'd I do wrong?
A lot of blue.
just kind of stopped at the pink?
Right here. You see? I have a straight line right there. So, yep, that's what I did. I gotta change it. Let me do this. Does that look better? Does that look more uneven?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's why you have to back away. I didn't notice it up front. So now we are going to go to these trees. Now, I gave you a filbert brush. It's a little bit bigger brush, and it's kind of like a almond shaped. It's a little oval brush. In case you want to try it, it's a little bit bigger, and you can use it maybe for some of these bigger trees. But we have this little flat brush I really like for these small trees back here. And we've got some green here, and I've got some black. And so I'm going to get some different shades of color, and I'm going to go into both colors. And I'm going to be picking up the color that's on the canvas. So if it gets too light in color, then you can reload. I'm going to start in the center. And the reason I'm going to start in the center is if I start here and I start too high and I work my way across, I'm going to not have any pink showing. So whenever I do a sunset or a sunrise, any picture where I have a different color in the center, maybe a sunset where there's a sun glowing, a mountain scene where there's a sun, I always start in the center and work my way out. That way I know that whatever I've worked hard to make this color here is going to show, okay? So I'm going to go into these colors, and I'm going to hold the flat side. I don't care about the water, so don't worry about the water. We're going to put color in here if you don't get enough. But I want to make sure that as much of this sky color that's showing is going to show. So if you need to just tap a little bit into that pink and down in your water and have bigger trees, you can. I want these trees to show far away, so I'm making them small. Maybe you want them to show closer, so you're going to make them bigger. This is, again, is your story that you're telling. The bigger the trees are, the closer they're going to appear. The smaller you make them, the farther they're going to appear. So the trees over here are farther away than the trees here. These are closer. So you're telling your story. I'm tapping this brush, and you can press some. If you press down on that brush a little bit, that's going to give you more of a textured look. You can tap it just flat and it's real thin lines, or you can press the brush and it gives you more of a fat little line there. Some have a little angle, some are just flat. They work the same way.
Are you using the filbert or the flat?
I'm using the flat. I like the flat better. I just gave you the other brush just as a second in case you wanted something different to try. I try to let you use whatever supplies I have. And so I'm going to start here and work my way out. I don't want any patterns. What I'm trying to do is get the tops of these to be different and make sure that my sky color is showing through. So I want to have different shades of color. And I won't be locked into the tops of these trees. I can go back and change some of these tops out if I need to. So I'm going to do this bigger row first, these bigger ones. I tend to work to the left. So I'm starting there, and then I'll go back over and do the other side. But you can do it however you want. I also tend to paint on it in an angle. So I will double check myself and make sure these trees are standing straight.
My flat brush is not.
All right, hon, I'll get you a different one. Here, I'll trade you. Here you go. Here you go. I'll trade you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working better for you?
I've done it for so long I can work with just about anything, sweetie.
This is much better,
So after I get some on, I'm going to look at it, decide. Then I'm going to go back and do the other side. Remember, don't copy your neighbor, do your own. No, I'm just teasing. And don't worry about the bottoms because we are going to be doing reflections. We use the mess that you guys all make in the water. We're going to use that for reflections. Yeah. We all make a mess. It's okay. That's the fun of painting. We all get to make a mess, be like kids.
Have you ever taught kids?
I have.
Is it fun?
Oh, they're fun.
What ages?
I think I started at 8. Well, actually, I had a 5-year-old in one class, but that was just too young. But 7 and 8. And I had one little girl, she painted, it was perfect. Every time she looked at it, oh, perfect, perfect.
Oh,
Her and her
she
grandpa,
liked it.
yeah, her and her grandpa. He loved it.
I wish
'Cause-
we'd have a class here like that.
We had grandparent, grandkids. We do some of the time. But
Be awesome.
they've recommended not doing under age 13 anymore.
Oh, no.
So,
Do you know that by the time children reach age 10 and they're not satisfied with their work, they will quit painting until they get older?
yeah. With the oil paints, they've recommended not for age 13. So, when I first started, it was age 8, and then of course you can't use thinner, but then they've changed it. So I would just, look at it, see if you want to change anything. You can change your color, and then that will give you different variances between your tree. So it looks like there's different trees in there. So it's not all the same. Don't worry about the bottom. We'll do the bottom next. So it's just mainly about the top, having the top be all uneven. So I'm going to look at it. I'm okay with different heights. Let me check. Do they look straight? Yep, I didn't paint on an angle today, like I tend to do. Good. They are coming to life. I would just look at like right here, just make sure that your tops are, like, see how here it's uneven? Just make sure that you're keeping it uneven. Like here it's almost flat.
Too even?
Almost, yeah. Just, what I would do is just look away from it and look at it and then decide. It's up to you. So, awesome. I love how yours is so tiny and hers is bigger. Look at how the difference is. That is so cool. See, that's what I love. Yeah. Look at how hers is so tiny and then hers is bigger. I love it. See, that's what I love about it, is just how different they are. Cool. Awesome. The different shades of color. Cool. Oh yeah, same here. Look at, hers is bigger, and then yours is smaller.
I want mine to be
And then,
bigger.
yeah, and see, and then we got smaller. Yeah, that's so awesome. Cool. Good job. I think I saw somebody left just a little opening, like they could drive the boat through the opening. So while you're getting your color on your trees, you can extend that color down into the water. So it's not going to be exact, and you don't want it thick because we're going to actually brush across that for reflection. So I am going to just kind of think of it more of staining the canvas, but I'm going to just kind of pull down some of this color longer for my taller trees, shorter for my short trees. So I'm going to kind of imagine where my horizon line's going to be, my land line, and I'm just going to kind of pull that color down a little bit. So staining the canvas, not adding a bunch of paint. If you add a lot of thick paint to it, when you brush across, it's just going to smear that paint. But you do need some color there.
So you're just kind of pulling it out of what's already there.
Well, I actually went in and loaded some more on to make sure I had enough, but I don't want thick paint. If you have a lot of paint in your trees, then yes, that would work. If you don't have a lot of paint on your trees, then you would need more. Now it has to be absolutely exact. No, I'm just teasing. I like to tease and joke around when I'm painting. There are mirror imaged paintings that you can do and work on, and I've had some people, when they're doing mirror image, flip their canvas because we want it to try to really get that mirror image to be as close as possible, and so they did the top side and then flipped their canvas upside down and painted the other side to work on getting the mirror image right. So whatever works for you. But these we don't care. We just want it to be kind of close. Good. So we're going to pull down here. So like where it's longer here, we're just gonna pull down in our water.
Oh, longer.
So where your tall trees are, we're gonna pull down. And where your short trees are, so this is gonna be like your reflection. Okay, so you're just gonna go across and kind of pull color down in here. And then where it's longer, you'll pull down a little bit longer. Okay?
Okay.
And that's gonna put that reflection underneath that land. Because sometimes when you look at water, sometimes it's just a dark shadow. Like there's a pond in Lebanon, I've never seen anything except a dark shadow when I've gone by it. And I've gone by it all different times of the day. And all I've ever seen is a dark shadow. But sometimes depending upon the time of day, you have a mirror reflection. Sometimes there's just a brief indication of a tree like what we're doing. Sometimes there's just a dark shadow. So it just depends upon the time of the day, the way the light's hitting it, as to what the shadow is going to look like underneath. So, or what the reflection is going to look like. Cool beans. You guys are doing good. Okay. So now for the test. We're going to take the big brush. We're going to wipe it out really good. So for everything that you tapped down in here, all of that green that we tapped, we're just going to brush across it just really lightly, just a couple of bristles. So I'm going to take that big brush and I'm just going to softly, as soft, like you're touching a baby's cheek, just real softly. I'm going to pull across here and just kind of put it into the canvas. Now, if I keep going across it, the more I go across it, the more it's going to blend it into a solid dark shadow. So I'm just going to go across it just enough to make that part of the canvas. If you leave it the way it is, it looks like that paint sitting on top of the canvas. When you go across it and kind of soften it, it makes it part of the canvas. Now there is something I just saw I want to change, is right here I have like a perfect line of reflection. So I want to just kind of change that just a tad, just to make it a little bit more uneven right there. Okay, let me check yours. And everything that you pull down or everything that you put down at the bottom for reflection, you want to soften. So even if you have a long tree, a long piece of green paint there, you want to soften that paint. So it's all part of the canvas. Good. Yep. Looks good. Yep. All right. Okay, so now we're going to put some water lines in to give the indication of some movement. Now, depending upon how rough the water is or how much movement in the water would determine how much water line and foam there would be at the shoreline. So we're going to take this water or this knife and we're going to use some white, and I'm just going to move, you can use either the little part of the knife or you could use the big part of the knife. I'm going to use that little part of the knife and just kind of run my knife through some white. And at the bottom of the land, the top of the reflection. So where you first took your brush across to soften it, that's where that foam's gonna go across. And it's not just a solid straight line across. You're just gonna kind of break that up. So if a boat went by and was speeding, you might have a whole bunch of foam there. If it's just a real calm day, you might not have very much at all. So I'm going to just take that knife and move it back and forth. Because it is water, this has to be flat. If you do it on an angle, it looks like the water's going to run off your canvas. So if I did it like this, see how it looks like the water's going to run off the canvas? Okay? So what you would do is just take a clean knife and go back, and you can just change that. Okay?
Were you using the white stuff that you made in the big pot?
Yeah. You can use the other. You can use any white. You can thin a regular white with a liquid, or this lean stuff that I use. I use this a lot with portraits, and I thin paint with this. And this actually helps to dry paint, so the painting would actually be dry tomorrow. It's called Liquid Odorless Lean. And I use that a lot when I'm painting. So I keep the knife flat, I do a little bit, then I stop and look. If you get too much in one area, you can wipe your knife off and then go back and kind of thin it out.
Are you going to brush it how you did, or are we leaving it like this?
No, we leave
Is
it.
That's right above the shadow?
It's above the, yes, it's at the top of the shadow, the bottom of the land. So when you first wiped your brush across, it goes at the top of that brush. So the foam goes, when the water comes in and hits the land, that's where the foam hits the land. Where the water hits the land and it causes foam. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to find some color.
And there's all different palette knives too. Each one works a little bit different.
Do you wanna leave the texture? Is that where you wanna leave the texture?
The lines.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, you got yours flat. What I look for is I look to make sure everybody's lines are flat. That's the only thing that I would have anybody change is if they're on an angle, then I have you change those to a flat line so it doesn't look like it's running off your canvas. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and put our land in. Now you can decide how much land you want and where you want it. Maybe you just want a little piece of land in a corner. Maybe you want a big hill in a corner. Maybe you want 2 pieces of land coming out in an open area in the middle. Maybe you want it to go all the way across. You can have your land be however, maybe you want a big piece on one side, on the other side. So you can decide where your land lives and how much you want. And you can use whatever brush you want to. So you could use the big brush, the fan brush, you know, the one that you did the trees with. And what color do you want it to be? You can use just the sap green by itself. You can add the black to it. So it's up to you. So I'm going to start with a little piece of land in this corner. And I'm going to start with a little piece of land over in this corner.
Now, you using just the straight green or the green?
Yep, I'm using just the sap green. So you guys can see. This one here's got the black in it. This one is just the sap green mixing with the color I've got on the canvas. So it's a brighter shade of green. So that way you can kind of see the difference in the two. So you can kind of decide. So then I'm going to look at it and decide, well, maybe I want to add a little bit of black to this side. And maybe I want to add a little bit of a hill to this side. And not have it be as flat. So you do a little bit and then look at it and decide how you want to change it as you're working, and then let it grow a little at a time. It doesn't matter to me. You can have it be just a small piece of flat land if you want. So go ahead and you work on your land and decide how you want your land to grow. Do a little bit, stop and look. Do a little bit, stop and look. When I do grass on here, I'm just going to hold that brush straight on, just so you know, for those of you who like to jump ahead, not that anybody would or anything. But I'm just going to take that brush and just kind of use the top edge and just kind of pull up little tiny bits of grass here and there. And I like little grassy effects. So, but then I'm just going to go ahead and work on it and take a look and put some hills in here and till I get it the way I like it. So just keep working on it and take a little look, paint a little, and then take another look till you get it how you like it. You can add some black to that color and change your colors up. That's going to help you to have different shades in your hill. To pull the grass, if you pull from the bottom up, that's going to give you different heights in there. If you're not sure, I would hold it away and look at it.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm. You can mix the black with your green to give you different colors. You can use the black by itself.
Okay. I'm not started because I like it.
You can leave it like that if you want.
But I thought about, can you just tap in like the grass and put little flowers on them? Or
Mhm.
is that what-
Yep.
I
And you
just tap
can,
it without having to solve it?
you can just take from the bottom if you want and just pull up some of the grass.
I can just stick some, yeah, I think I like that better.
Mhm.
Alright,
Yeah.
great.
And that way you can just do a little bit, maybe you just want a little area.
Okay.
Just do a little area at a time till you get it the way you like it. Awesome. Cool. I love it. You guys are getting so creative. I like how everybody's is so different. Mhm. Mhm. You can just wipe your brush and kind of soften it. Mhm.
See how I get that out of there.
So if you go back and paint on top of this, do you need to wait till it dries all the way, or can you do it like if it's slightly still wet?
What do you like if you wanted to add something or? I would wait till it's completely dry, and then I would thin your paint as you're working on it. And then if you don't like what you changed, you can just take thinner and wash it off, and you have what you started with. So that would be my suggestion. If you try to work on it and it's partially dry, part of it may be dry and part of it may be wet, and then you're trying to blend something or change something, and the colors may not match, and so yeah. So that's why I would wait until it's dry, and then you can go back and work on it. I have one student in one class, and she goes home and lets it dry, and she adds an animal to every picture she paints.
Oh, cool.
So
I wonder if I should leave it there or put flowers.
I don't
Sounds like
know.
Lonnie.
It looks good.
I need more paint back down in here too, once I've got it done, I think I might need to nail that down.
I don't know. I like it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Should we just leave it?
It's up to you, honey.
I'm trying to decide about the flowers.
It's up to you.
Like, wildflowers down in there.
It's up to you.
So what do you tap those in with if you do it?
I would use this little brush.
That one?
Mhm. Yeah. When you get done, I've got a signing tool that you can use to sign your name. It's an eraser, and it will just erase your paint off of that canvas and leave a light signature. So when you have it the way you'd like it, just let me know. I'll just set it here and we'll just start passing it around. So thank you for coming to class. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you so much for coming and painting today.